Hey there everyone, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. So when it comes to DC, we have two updates. One surrounding the Superman Legacy movie and whether we're going to be seeing a trailer in 2024. And then the second piece of DC news surrounds Margot Robbie and Harley Quinn and whether she's going to be back playing the role in James Gunn's DCU. So if you are new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the movie news we have going on this channel. But with that down, first of all, we're going to jump into this comic book movie article. So, Superman Legacy director James Gunn reveals whether we'll get a trailer this year and shares a shooting update. So, Superman Legacy director James Gunn shares some new updates about the DCU reboot, including whether we'll get to see a trailer this year and when the filmmaker intends to get cameras rolling on the movie. So, Superman Legacy begins production this year for a July 2025 release. Fortunately, James Gunn had finished writing the script before last year's strikes and has had ample time to finish casting the reboot before cameras started rolling. Yeah, it was real lucky that he had the script already written before the strikes. Otherwise, we could have been looking at putting the film off for an entire another year, possibly if the movie had been affected by the strikes. So it was real lucky that the script was already written, because waiting another year to 2026 would have absolutely sucked so bad. So we're quite fortunate in that respect. So, at most, there's been a small delay, and an expectation is that DC Studios will bring the Man of Tomorrow to San Diego Comic-Con this July. Yeah, that seems to be sort of the best educated guess, if you like, of when we're going to see kind of like the first reveal of Superman Legacy. The filmmaker has said he won't reveal Superman's new suit before production starts, and providing he doesn't shoot the movie on location, a grand reveal could take place in Hall H. I mean, it absolutely makes sense that he's not going to reveal Superman's suit before they start production on the movie, because, for example, what if at the last minute they need to make a tweak to the suit? If he went to release an official image, of David Corenswet in the actual Superman suit, and then for some reason, before they started shooting the movie, they had to, tweak the suit in some small capacity, then obviously that would be a bit of a nightmare, having revealed the suit looking one way and then having to have tweaked it once they start shooting. So it always gives him that kind of leeway that, if he doesn't reveal the suit, he can still tweak it right up until they start production, which I get and kind of makes sense. But yeah, showing it at Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con would be the best way to kind of get your bang for your buck when it comes to marketing for the new Superman movie. So alas, it doesn't sound like we should expect a trailer. So, talking to Threads, to answer fan questions, Gunn was asked if a sneak peek will be released in 2024. No, he responded. We don't begin filming until March. Writing is basically done, and it has been for a while, other than a comma here and a comma there. So, we're a little surprised to hear Superman Legacy trailer won't be released until 2025, though this decision may be taken out of Gunn's hands if Warner Bros. Discovery chooses to begin hyping up the movie sooner rather than later. I find it very surprising that we're not going to see a trailer for the entire year of 2024. I mean, most big Hollywood budget movies, you see a trailer, normally between 4 to 6 months out, normally the first trailer. So, that would put us around so it's going to be in July, the movie, right? So it would be around about February time, January, February time that we might see our first trailer, if we're lucky. But it would make sense to release a trailer over the Christmas period in 2024. If I was part of the marketing team, I would suggest Christmas. That makes more sense to me. He was also asked whether there's any sort of mandate or embargo when it comes to using certain characters, and explained that outside of what happens on the page and in very minor projects, DC Studios is free to do as it pleases. So, quote from James Gunn, "Peter Safran and I are curators of DC characters," Gunn said. "That means any characters, writers who want to use it in media or any type that's not comic books and a couple of other things, like I believe podcasts, DCU or not, has to go through us." Yeah, so pretty much if you want to use any DC characters in any medium whatsoever, other than podcasts and comic books, like he already says, then obviously they have to get permission through James Gunn and Peter Safran in order to use those characters. Obviously they're copyrighted and all that good stuff. You can't just go ahead and use the characters as and when you want. So he even offered insights into how he approaches his movies in terms of budgets. "In general, not always, I spend half the budget on the first 2 acts and then the second half on the third act, especially with spectacle films," the Superman Legacy helmer explained. So producers often spread cost equally across the film, and it's one of the many reasons, alongside storytelling deficiencies and not have scripts ready at the start of shooting, that films lag in the third act. Gunn concluded, for spectacle and action films, you generally want the third act to pace up. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, the third act is supposed to be, it's supposed to be sort of, what's the word? When you want to finish with a bang, when you kind of, you up the pace, you up the ante, the stakes are at the highest. You've got the big fight scenes generally towards the end of the movie. And it's kind of where you're wrapping up the conclusion of your story or your movie. So, the CGI is in full swing, the story's in full swing. It's coming to a conclusion as to what's happened, at the end of the story. So, of course, it kind of makes sense to spend half of the budget just on that third act alone, because that's where you want your movie to be firing on all cylinders. So, we're going to go over to the Harley Quinn article now and see what's going on with Margot Robbie and Harley Quinn. And get a bit of an update on that character, because, Harley Quinn is a beloved character when it comes to DC, and a lot of people still want Margot Robbie to retain the role of Harley Quinn, but whether that's going to happen, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let's hop over and read into that news. So, landing on this article here, James Gunn says there is currently no plans for anyone to replace Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn in the DCU. So, despite Margot Robbie recently suggesting that she might be done with the role, James Gunn has now responded by saying there are no current plans for anybody else to play the character in the DCU. Yeah, I mean, after Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn, I mean, what can you say? I mean, she absolutely just nailed the role. She was an absolutely perfect fit for the character. I mean, people just absolutely loved her. She just embodied kind of Harley Quinn in that character. So for any other actress to come in and take over that role, she's, they're going to have big shoes to fill, and to do that character justice, it's going to be very, very difficult. But it's going to be interesting to see where this story goes in the future, as to whether they are going to recast or keep Margot Robbie. And, that may not even be the question. Like, does Margot Robbie even want to continue playing the character? Maybe she wants to move on to other projects and other things, because she has been playing the character now for quite some time. But let's go down and have a read, guys, and see if we can clear up any information about what's going on with this story. So, fans have been wondering about the status of Margot Robbie's take on Harley Quinn, heading into James Gunn and Peter Safran's new DCU. So, rumours have suggested that the Barbie star has already agreed to reprise the role, but more recently the actress seemed to suggest that she might be ready to move on from the character. So, Margot Robbie goes on to say the following, quote, "I always wanted Harley to be a character that would get passed on to other actresses to play. The way there are so many iconic male characters, that was always the dream for her," Robbie told Variety. "Harley's so fun and can go in so many different directions. You put her in someone else's hands and it's like, what are they going to do with her? The options are endless." Absolutely. I mean, Harley Quinn is kind of almost like a female version of the Joker, obviously. Playing on that kind of clown, kind of delusional mentality of a character. And just like you've done with the Joker, we've had over the years several different actors come in and play the Joker. And I mean, there's countless different versions of Joker in different directions you can go with the Joker character. You can do the exact same thing with Harley Quinn. There's so many iterations within the comic books, and they're so vastly different. It's amazing how many different directions you can go in with one single character. And I mean, we've only had Margot Robbie's take on Harley Quinn. So, I mean, I'm absolutely up for a new actress coming in and seeing what new kind of directions they can take Harley Quinn in. Maybe they can go more gritty, more grounded, or maybe they can go more kind of supernatural with their character. There's, as I say, there's sort of infinite ways you can go. But then again, I'm still up for Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn because she did a fantastic job. So, we know that the new DCU is currently being developed and will serve as a relaunch for Warner Brothers' previous DC comic-based universe, but recent developments have pointed to a semi-reboot. Some characters and actors are sticking around and others are being replaced. Yeah, this has been a massive question when it comes to the DCU as well. I mean, we've got some characters reprising their role from, the DCEU, and then some characters being replaced. So it's not a hard reboot. It's kind of like a soft reboot. We've still got Peacemaker coming over. We've still got some other characters as well. But then other characters are being rebooted. So it's kind of hard to tell kind of what's going on with that aspect. But hopefully James Gunn will clear it up sooner rather than later. So, for example, we know that Gunn is working on a second season of Peacemaker. Yeah, absolutely. But there were rumors going around that Peacemaker Season 2 was supposed to explain the kind of deviation from the DCEU when it came to Peacemaker Season 1. And they were going to explain how Season 1 to Season 2 makes that jump from the DCEU to the DCU. So if it does, then completely on board. And a spin-off focusing on Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, another character coming back from the DCEU. In addition, Gal Gadot recently claimed that she was set to return as Wonder Woman for a third movie set in the DCU, although this was later refuted by the trades. So now Gunn has responded to Robbie's comments on Threads. So James Gunn goes on to say this about Margot Robbie. I haven't talked to Margot about Harley for a long time, but I'd love to work with her again as Harley or as someone else. There are no plans at this time for anyone else to play Harley, I mean, other than Todd's movie or the animated shows. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to current iterations of Harley Quinn, obviously we have the Harley Quinn animated show, voiced by Kaylee Cuoco, and then we have Lady Gaga playing the role of Harley Quinn in Todd Phillips' Joker Folie à Deux, which is a completely separate universe when it comes to the DCEU. But I'm kind of excited to see what she does with Harley Quinn in the Joker 2. But then again, I'm not that big of a fan of Lady Gaga when it comes to her acting. But still, I'm interested to see what she does with it, because it's Harley Quinn. So I'm just interested to see how they, you know, the direction they go in for that character. Because Harley Quinn is always interesting. You know, like the Joker, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what direction they're going to go in. And the character is just rife for, you know, interesting storytelling, if you like. So something tells us we haven't seen the last of Robbie's Harley Quinn, but when and where she shows up again is anybody's guess. I think they might allude to her with some Easter eggs or something like that, or a cameo, but I'm not sure. Like, it's going to be very interesting, as I say, to go forward as a DC fan, to see how, you know, they address this issue of Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn. Are we going to get an announcement at some point in the future that she is confirmed, or are they going to recast her? It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens. So guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about these two updates to the DCU, about Superman Legacy not having a trailer in all of 2024, and potentially Margot Robbie, you know, not coming back to play Harley Quinn. Are you still interested in her playing Harley Quinn, or would you prefer a new actress? I'd love to hear what you have to say about these two updates, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.